Hey guys, it's time for another video. In this one I'm gonna repair an engine again. I'm gonna do a rebuild. I had to scale up a bit since the chainsaw, so it was only logical to make a little bit bigger engine, and now I'm gonna scale it even more by doing two engines at the same time, because I have these scooters. You can see them behind me. They're probably the same capacity engines, the 50cc as the chainsaw, but they are a little bit bigger and a little bit more powerful, so it's gonna be even more interesting and a little bit more tricky to fix them, because I haven't disassembled engines like this before. This is the first time. I didn't have any scooters or haven't worked on bikes and stuff like that, like these ones, because I've worked on small bikes before. I've had this three-gear thing that was 50cc, and it was lots of fun to have that, and I was missing that. I didn't have any bikes, so when I saw the green one, actually, in a scrapyard, I had to pull over and ask if they are willing to sell that, and they said that they are gonna sell it. It's not a problem. And while I was investigating the condition, does it worth it, I found that this thing has all of the parts needed, and I kicked the starter to see if the engine is running, is still moving, because the spark plug was missing. And what I found that in the pile next to me, there was the smaller one, this one, thrown, so I couldn't resist the urge to. I saw that there was some couple of things missing from it, but I could not resist the urge to just buy them both. It was an expensive buy. It was something around 100 euros, so 120, 30 US dollars, something like that. So anyways, they were not expensive, so I decided they're perfect projects, and I could not resist the urge. Once I got home, I even was able to start the green one, and little after that I was able to start the blue one as well, just to see if they were gonna run at all. They were running. Actually, they were going very, very fast for this type of bike, so I was very surprised. Well, it was very interesting to drive them around, and unfortunately that was just for a couple of days, because the engines were at their limit. They were pretty worn, I'm guessing, so they broke right after. I could not film anything to show you that, because it was just gimmick. I did not expect for that thing to work, and either way. So the bottom line is that I'm guessing that I have to rebuild the engines on the both of them, so I'm gonna combine that in one video. I'm gonna show you the condition. Both of them are, as a project, I was thinking to cut one of them and take the drivetrain with the engine and make something else, but now I feel like I wanna drive them for a bit, at least to get a feel on what is going on with them, and so forth. So let me show you the way they look like. They are basically like junk pieces. You understand that from the scrap yard they were probably gonna destroy them for metal, or I don't know. There is not much metal in them, but here they are. So on this one I'm guessing that I'm gonna have to remove the whole engine part because when I put some oil in the gears over here, it wasn't enough oil in them, and these are not gears. I don't know how to call them. It doesn't have any gears. You just press the throttle and this thing runs. But either way, it has a drive shaft, something like that over here, or it is a belt. I don't know what it is actually. But when I pour some oil to match the level that it's needed, the engine began to smoke. So I'm guessing that I'm gonna have to take the whole thing down and disassemble it and replace the ceilings, the sealants, and everything that needs to be taken care of. While the green one, it doesn't have these problems, and I'm gonna try to just take the top part of the engine, which is this thing over here. It has a plastic cover and then it has the cylinder underneath, so I'm gonna take that out without disassembling the rest of the bike, just to see if I can do that in its place, in its seat. And if I can do that, it will save me much of time, because this one, it actually holds its oil, so there is no problem with that at this point. And once I'm gonna have to reupholster this seat. I'm gonna get this out of here in time. As you can see, everything is broken. Look at this one. So I'm gonna have to clean this a bit. I'm gonna have to paint it probably, because it is ugly and I can't even look at it. I was surprised to discover that there is no headlight underneath the paint. It is just white plastic. I've never seen something like that. And potentially I'm gonna have to just make something cool out of them. If I leave them this way, I'm gonna have to paint this. I'm gonna have to assemble the plastic bits and stuff like that. But for now, I was able to make the front brake work, because when I bought this thing, there were no pads, brake pads, and I found some replacement, and there was the sealants in the cylinder were destroyed, so it was a pain in the ass to find the proper ones. So now it has a front brake as well, so this is good. As for this one, we had to add this piece over here that is for the speedometer, and this metal string, I don't know the proper name. I'm gonna search and find out how this thing is called. And I had to use this lever for the rear brake, because there was none. And it's not for this bike particularly, but it is universal. You can mount this on all sorts of bikes, so I had this on my disposal, so I bought it. And now on the both bikes the brakes work, but it's time for the engines to work as well. Now I can even kickstart this, but nothing will happen. You see, even if it happens something, if this thing decides to start, it's gonna cut off immediately, so it's no use for me to just try. I'm gonna disassemble it. Just I wanna quickly mention that this thing was so much fun to drive. I don't know, I've never drove something like that. The other one was like more I don't know, more stable or something. it feels so different from this one, but this one is like a little rocket, and it's so much fun to drive this, so I can't wait. And if you think you're gonna enjoy this type of content, stay tuned, because I'm gonna jump right into it. So let's start. Okay, guys, so what I've realized is that I can just dismiss the disassembling, the whole disassembling of this thing, and I'm gonna just remove this panel over here that holds the oil and everything, and I'm gonna probably be able to get to that sealing that is over here and keeps the oil separate from the engine. And I'm gonna try this method because I don't feel like disassembling the whole thing now. I'm probably gonna do that in the future anyway. And as you can see, the sealant over here doesn't work very well, and there is oil leak. So either way, I have to take this part out. So I'm gonna try this method, and if this thing doesn't work, and I feel that I'm gonna have to take the whole thing out, then I'm gonna proceed. But for now, I'm just gonna start and take the top half of the engine out. And first I'm gonna disassemble the carburetor, the seat, and so on. So let's go. Surprisingly, it was this easy to get this thing out. I'm amazed. I expected to be more troublesome, but here it is. Here is the cylinder. So it's time to investigate what is going on inside. Now I'm gonna take the piston out. The piston is out, so I'm gonna check what is going on.